Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com. As the holiday season ends, these respiratory illnesses are on the rise. What you need to know is just ahead. And the City Council is calling for a special meeting this week. What's on the agenda? That's coming up. Plus, how local law enforcement agencies are advising residents on human trafficking.
And for us, we've got some nice weather in stock for us for the rest of this week, even getting up to the 70s by this weekend. But that will all drastically change because guess what? We've got another Arctic front coming our way and the polar vortex is moving. All that in the weather coming up.
Coming up in sports, we're taking a dive into the world of professional wrestling. See which Victoria native competed last night for the Aces.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday.
That's right, happy Mondays. Beginning of a brand new week, and it's another chilly week, although not as chilly as it was last week.
That's right, and
sure.
Some of you may still be persistent on your New Year resolution. I know last week I got to work out 3 times during the work week, so I'm hoping to meet that target again today. So you're not alone if you're trying to make all those resolution goals.
That's right,
week.
Definitely want to stick to your resolutions and maybe even stick to our question of the day, which is what kind of big dreams do you have in 2025? But if you are sticking to those dreams, maybe you're dreaming of some warmer weather. Unfortunately, that is definitely not the case. Got a pretty sunrise though coming over Victoria. But right now in Victoria, if you're tuning in with us, it's 43. It's still a tad bit chilly out there. We're not warm yet. And the wind chill, that's even chillier at 37 degrees with your winds at about 10 miles an hour out of the north. So bundle up this morning if you're headed out the door with that kind of information. And if you're tuning in from anywhere else across the state, also bundle up because looking north, they're at 22 in Lubbock, 24 in Lubbock, Amarillo, 26 in Wichita Falls along the Red River. But all of us here in the Crossroads, we're all starting out our day in the low, mid, and some in the upper 40s down a little bit closer to the water. So like I said, just a bit chilly. I might bundle up this morning. But don't worry because the sun that's going to come out, you can see that coming over West Texas, lots of clear skies heading our way. It's going to bring us another nice day in the low 60s. But coming our way over the next 7 days, we got to watch this system in the Pacific because that's going to bring the Arctic front and the polar vortex a little bit further south. That's later on Sunrise because if you're sending your kiddos at the door this morning, like I said, packing for a chilly morning and a bit of a cool afternoon. We'll look at the details of your day and more coming up next.
If you know someone staying home sick today, you're not alone. More hospitals say they're overwhelmed by patients suffering from respiratory illnesses.
This morning, a warning from health officials about a deadly surge in respiratory illnesses, now at high levels in 35 states.
One snapshot is on Tuesday, out of all admissions, about 20% tested positive for some type of respiratory virus.
It's being referred to as the winter quademic, an increase in cases of COVID, RSV, stomach viruses, and flu, leading to a spike in emergency room visits.
The common cold, like a cough, a sniffle.
We think it might have been COVID, but it was different than she's had it in the past.
In Chicago, 2 children under age 2 have died from the flu so far this year. Last year, there were 0.
It's really among all age groups. We are seeing an increase in pediatric population as well.
In Louisiana, parents are rushing kids to the ER with stomach viruses, primarily due to dehydration. In Minnesota, hospitals report unprecedented visits with longer wait times in the ER.
Very high volumes of viral illnesses, registrations that are about 30% higher than we saw last year at about the same time.
Beds reserved for the most severe cases.
Because of crowding and record flu admissions, our emergency departments become crowded and there's less main room spaces to be seen.
Doctors attribute the spike in illnesses to gatherings over the holidays and lower vaccination rates. It's important to protect yourself. Doctors say wash your hands often and also wipe down your kids' toys. That will help. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Blue Origin says it's working to reschedule the launch of its 30-story New Glenn rocket. That's after technical problems caused it to cancel an attempt planned for earlier this morning. The company says it needs to troubleshoot a vehicle subsystem issue. New Glenn is the first rocket it aims to someday be able to send satellites into orbit. The Victoria City Council is holding a special meeting on Wednesday. They're looking at a resolution to authorize a venue project that would be subject to voter approval. The City of Victoria finalized the Community Center and Fairgrounds Master Plan in 2024. It calls for a major renovation of the existing amenities at the Victoria Community Center to allow the complex to host multiple events at once. The plan called for two options ranging in cost from $35 million to $45 million per Chapter 334 of the Local Government Code. The council must adopt a venue project first before placing any of the measures on a ballot for consideration. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code, or it's right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support the city's plan to potentially renovate the community center? Okay, let's take a look. 65% of you say yes, and 35% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 a.m. Here are some items from their agenda. They'll record a grant for a control tower radio and equipment for the Victoria Regional Airport. They'll also consider action on a resolution with the intent to create the Victoria County Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly, or PACE program. And they'll also consider approval of a resolution adopting the 2025 Victoria County Investment Policy and appointment of an investment officer. They meet on the second floor of the courthouse at 115 North Bridge Street in room 241. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and enforcement agencies are advising residents about signs that may hint to human trafficking. The U.S. began recognizing the month in 2010 to educate the public on how to identify and prevent trafficking. The crime can include forced labor or sex trafficking. In 2016, the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking held their first meeting to game plan solutions. The website of Attorney General Ken Paxton shows 185 arrests for trafficking in 2020 with 28 convictions. The Victoria Police Department and Fire Department will host their first Lunch and Learn of the year with a presentation on human trafficking at the Community Center Dome from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Interested residents can register at victoriapd.com. The Civilian Police Academy Alumni Association will provide lunch. Remember, follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. We take a look at a new simulated first responder training program.
Toll has risen to 24. There are at least 16 people missing in the fires in Southern California, and these fires are still far from over. I'm Zoreen Shaw. I'll have a story coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, today is going to be another bit of a chilly day all across beautiful Texas. I'll tell you how cool I think it's going to be near you. But coming up later on Sunrise, that Arctic front is coming this weekend, and we're going to take a look at just how cold it's going to get. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in Cuero. You can still see some of the clouds that are passing over us this morning, but I promise you, whatever clouds that are out there right now, that's going to decrease down to some sunny skies for the day today. We're going to look at that after this, because right now in Cuero, I might grab that jacket if you're headed out the door about now. 44, and your wind chill, that's down to the 30s with the winds at around 10 miles an hour out of the north. So still a bit chilly out there, but like I said, with that sun coming up, and it's going to be a sunny day all day today. As you can see here on the future radar and clouds today, we're going to be warming up back into what we saw yesterday with highs in the upper 50s and low 60s. But the sunny skies, clear skies that is, that'll stay with us all the way up until I'm thinking around 6, 7, 8, or 9, 10 p.m. tonight. That's when we're going to start picking up some cloud cover all the way up to mostly cloudy skies, and that will stick with us all the way into Thursday. We're expecting some cloudy skies for Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies for your day tomorrow, Tuesday. But underneath the sunshine today, like I was saying, going to be a pretty nice day. Already by noontime, we're going to be looking for temperatures in the mid 50s. But in the afternoon, we're looking for highs for everybody, like I said, low 60s and upper 50s. I think it's 62 here in Victoria, 61 in Port Lavaca, and 60 today in Cuero. Before our overnight lows are dropping down into the upper 30s and low 40s, kind of like what we're seeing this morning underneath the cloud cover. And tomorrow, another similar day to today with highs in the upper 50s and low 60s. But in the morning time today, it is going to be a bit breezy. We're going to be looking for wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour at times. That'll decrease down to about 20 to 25 miles an hour going into the afternoon time. But with that being said, the National Weather Service does have a small craft advisory for our coastal waters for choppy waves with those winds, so make sure to be careful if you're going fishing today. But for the rest of this week, we've got some more lovely weather in stock with highs in the 50s and 60s before that Arctic front gets here. We're going to look at that coming up next.
Now let's talk about some local pro wrestling in the Crossroads this weekend. Our friends at the Aces is back with their event titled That One Night 2. And this was my second time covering this event, and the Aces definitely followed up from their previous show. Another great show in the history books for the Aces in the match titled The War to Settle the Score that saw the Lone Star Mafia beat the team of Cuervo, Decimus, and Calibus. And in some championship action, we crowned a new LWA Rise Division champion in Roderick Rodzilla. And Victoria's own Chamberlain retained his Lucha Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Here's a word from those champions.
I was born and raised here. You know, there's a little place called Under the Hill. If you know, you know what I mean? Coming from the bottom, homelessness, you name it, all the way to becoming world champion in my hometown in front of my peers and strangers all the same. You know, everyone came out here, brought that energy, you know.
It's definitely given me a stronger connection with the fans in Victoria because every time I come to this place, it's awesome. Like, the crowd, the kids, they love Rodzilla. I'm Laredo's founders, baby. And now that I got the gold.
Big congratulations to Roderick Rodzilla on capturing the LWA Rise Championship. If you want to see more of Ledric Chamberlain from Victoria, you can catch him at Loco Underground in Houston, Texas on January 23rd. But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Now to an urgent new warning about heavy winds that could make conditions even worse as wildfires continue in Southern California. One of the biggest fires, the Eaton Fire, was 27% contained as of last night, and the Palisades Fire just 13% contained.
This morning, firefighters in Southern California bracing for conditions to worsen. Forecasters have issued a rare warning, a PDS, or particularly dangerous situation, saying powerful winds this week could threaten new communities in the disaster zone.
The vegetation is still very, very dry, so that leaves a recipe to produce some very critical fire weather conditions.
Wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour are expected today. Since last week, fierce winds have turned wildfires into infernos, leveling entire neighborhoods. The fires have burned more than 12,000 homes and other buildings, making them likely the most destructive fires in U.S. history. In the Pasadena area, more than 39,000 structures are still under threat from the Eaton Fire.
It was a nightmare.
Jeffrey and Cheryl Koo first spotted the Eaton Fire at 6:19 p.m. last Tuesday on a hill near their home.
I need you to come out here right now.
Their ring camera shows the couple loading their car to evacuate just 10 minutes later.
No!
The sky turning bright orange as flames expanded around the hill.
The point where I felt like this was going to be the last time I would see the house was when the sky was orange.
The couple is seen evacuating at 6:53. They called it 34 minutes of terror.
Every moment I went into the house and out of the house, it was surreal. Every time I checked on the fire, it got worse.
That couple's home mostly spared. It's unclear how the Pacific Palisades or the Eaton Fire started. The ATF is leading the investigation. This, as FEMA announced that active duty military will soon be deployed to join the firefighting efforts.
So I've been speaking to many of the people who lost homes here in Altadena, and the one thing they want people to know is that this was a community. They say this was not a place where people were buying second or third homes, and they say they are really afraid about insurance. They said rebuild, and for what? Who will ever insure them again? So there's a lot of fears, a lot of sadness and anxiety among people who have just lost so much. Zorin Shah, ABC News, Altadena.
Victoria College is driving innovation for emergency medical training with a new state-of-the-art EMS driving simulator, all thanks to support from the Johnson Foundation. The simulator gives students hands-on experience in routine and emergency vehicle operations. Before this, most of the training was classroom-based. Now students can actually experience real-world scenarios. And here's a sneak peek at what next week's presidential inauguration will look like. A full dress rehearsal was held Sunday in Washington, D.C. for President-elect Trump's inauguration on January 20th. The president's own Marine Band performed all of the songs they will play during the historic ceremony. And yesterday's run-through included stand-ins for Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance just to make sure everything is good to go. And the time is just about 5:46 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A possible ceasefire in Gaza is in the works. The details straight ahead. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Pam. Happy birthday, Mama. Me and the children love you so much.
Happy birthday, Pam, and also happy birthday to Maya. Happy 10th birthday, Maya. Love Mommy and your godparents.
Ooh, I want some of that ramen, Maya.
That does look yummy.
Happy birthday to Anna. Happy 49th birthday to my godmother, Anna, from JJ and Aunt Janie.
Happy birthday, Anna, and also happy birthday to Charlotte. Happy birthday to my wife from me and our children.
Happy birthday to Jenna. Happy birthday from your dad and Norma and all your brothers and sisters. We love you.
Happy birthday, Jenna, and also happy birthday to Jason. Want to wish a happy birthday to my fiance, Jason, from Tori and the children.
Happy birthday to Marley. Happy B-Day from your mom, your family. We love you. We wish you a special day and many more.
Happy birthday, Marley, and also happy birthday to Melina. Love Granny and Grandpa, Mom, Dad, and all your siblings.
And happy birthday to Julia and, I want to say Julia y Lupita.
Oh, I like that.
Julia and Lupita. Happy birthday to my mother-in-law and grandmommy, and the children love y'all.
Oh, happy birthday, y'all, and happy birthday to Maria. Happy birthday, Maria. We love you from your family and friends. Have a wonderful day.
Happy birthday to Tracy. Hope you have an amazing day, bestie. Love ya from Bobby.
Happy birthday, Tracy, and happy birthday to Yvette. Wishing you an awesome day, girlie. Love you from Bobby.
Happy birthday to Melanie. Happy birthday. Have a blessed day. Love from your family and friends.
Oh, happy birthday to all of y'all. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just go to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
A whole lot of Capricorns.
It's the birthday Monday.
Oh, and happy birthday to Margetta.
Aw.
She's in charge of our elections department
Love
here.
that. Happy birthday,
We'll be
Margetta.
seeing you soon, Margetta.
That's right.
And the time is now 6:48 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you did this weekend.
That's right, or over the weekend. Happy birthday to all of y'all. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure you heard me talking about a polar vortex or an Arctic cold front that's coming our way real soon, making things chilly again. Well, that still looks like that's the case. We're going to look at the big picture here, starting out with the satellite all over the continental United States. You can see here down here in Texas, starting out with a short term. Over time, over the next 48 hours, we're going to have another extratropical, really weak one, extratropical low that's going to develop right here off the coast of Brownsville. Not going to turn into anything like a hurricane or tropical storm, but it's going to be similar to what we had like about a week and a half ago when it rained for that entire day on Thursday. But that's exactly what's going to come our way on Wednesday, bringing us some rain for Wednesday. But then as we go into the weekend time, later this week and into the weekend, what we need to start paying our attention to, or turn our attention to, is this system. It's an upper level low pressure system over the northern central Pacific. You can see that spinning kind of clockwise right there. That system is going to continue moving northeastward, going into northern Canada. And what that's going to do is, at the same time all this is happening, the polar vortex over the northern pole is going to continue bobbing north and south a little bit. Why that happens is because in the wintertime, the polar vortex strengthens a little bit, and due to the centripetal force around the low, it's going to expand a little bit. So what we're looking at is that low that's over the Pacific is going to ride northeastward, like I said, into parts of northern Canada, and that low is going to grab all of that cold air that's going to be shifting a little bit further south due to the polar vortex moving south and bobbing back and forth. And we're looking at that low bringing all that cold air down into Texas, bringing us a front for Saturday night. Before that gets here, we're going to be looking at highs in the 70s, and after that gets here, we're looking at highs in the 50s and 40s, and lows down to near or below freezing. We'll look at all of that and more later on Sunrise.
Millions of people on TikTok are eagerly waiting for a Supreme Court ruling on whether the app will be banned in the U.S.
This morning, social media users are waiting for a Supreme Court ruling that could decide the fate of TikTok. A majority of the justices during arguments Friday seemed likely to uphold a law banning the app in less than a week. Creators are now pleading with fans to follow them elsewhere.
Go follow me. You can find me on other platforms.
President-elect Trump has promised to save the video sharing app, and there are a few ways that could potentially happen. Trump could order the Justice Department not to enforce the ban, but tech companies may not feel comfortable breaking the law. Trump could also push Congress to repeal the law, but it passed with broad bipartisan support. There's also a possibility of a sale.
I think we offer a very compelling package to ByteDance.
Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary and a group of investors have offered to buy the app's U.S. assets from its Chinese parent company. But the owners have said a sale is a non-starter. Still, some users are holding out hope.
New information comes out every single day. I don't really know who to believe, so I'm not believing any of it.
Even if the ban does go through, it does not mean the app will vanish from your phone. But you won't be able to get software updates, and internet hosting companies are not allowed to keep offering their services to TikTok, so your feed may not show new videos. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Without a buyer, the ban in the U.S. will move forward on January 19th. President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are still working toward a ceasefire in Gaza. The leader spoke on the phone Sunday. Biden is hoping to secure a release of hostages taken by Hamas in the October 7th attack before he leaves office next week. He's also pressing for a surge in humanitarian aid. Earlier in the day, Biden's national security advisor Jake Sullivan said the parties are very close to reaching a deal. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. The Biden administration is poised to make an announcement on nicotine limitations in cigarettes. President Biden is expected to propose a plan as early as today that would limit nicotine levels in cigarettes. The proposal is not expected to include tobacco products like e-cigarettes or nicotine replacement patches and lozenges. Multiple studies have suggested that levels may have to be slashed up to 95% to make cigarettes minimally non-addictive. Kim Kardashian is asking California's governor to raise the pay of incarcerated firefighters. The reality star turned law student says the men and women are putting their lives on the line and they deserve more than the $5.10 per hour they're currently earning for their work. She went on to thank her, quote, heroes for saving her own neighborhood during the fires. As of Friday, nearly 1,000 inmates were serving. California Governor Gavin Newsom is suspending some state requirements to build in an effort to help fire victims rebuild faster. The order suspends some permit and review requirements under the California Environmental Quality Act and the California Coastal Act. Newsom also extended protections against price gouging on building materials and other essential goods for the next year. The Victoria County Public Health Department is hosting a community resource center starting January 21st for residents needing help with job-seeking documents like applications and resumes, as well as applications for food stamps, SNAP, and disability benefits. It's open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday and from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday. Republican lawmakers in Texas are signaling this year that they will continue pushing for restrictions on voting in the name of combating voter fraud. But some efforts to expand voting access could gain bipartisan support. You can read the story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our pretty sunrise with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Parker.
That's right. Look at this pretty sunrise you got over the coast this morning. Very pretty. All kinds of colors out there. But if you're going to head out the door to go see that sunrise or do those early morning errands, I'll grab that jacket. Still a little bit chilly. 45 right now in Port Lavaca. Wind chills down to 40 flat with the winds at about 10 to 15. Calm down a little bit, but I promise it's going to be a bit breezy in the morning with wind chills in the 30s, so grab that jacket. But across Texas, it's going to be another chilly day, looking for highs in the 50s and the 40s up north. Down here, we're going to be looking for upper 50s and low 60s. Looking closer to home, I'm thinking 61 for the high in Port Lavaca. Lots of sunshine all day. Clouds are going to start increasing, go into tonight, but also breezy along the coast all day. That's why you all have a small craft advisory, so be careful if you're fishing today. 62 for the high in Victoria. Lots of sun as well. Definitely breezy in the morning time, and also same as Cuero, breezy in the morning, getting up to 64 today. But if you like that, we're going to be just like that for the rest of this week with highs in the 50s and 60s before that front gets here on Saturday night.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank you for being with us. Join Shanadon McClovey and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. We leave you with a live view of Los Angeles.